So we've been to what some consider to be pretty tough airports to land at, which include Catalina and Big Bear. And now hold on to your comments about how they're not that hard, because between dealing with high density altitude or the illusion of a shorter runway, there are reasons those two airports require specific checkout. Each have their specific challenges, but that's not the point. The point is, this next airport is probably what I consider personally to be the toughest approach of any airport we have been to yet. So today, it's a completely VFR day. Finally, the weather opened up for us early. We would then head west to the Burbank area and follow the 5 freeway up the Grapevine. And when near Bakersfield, we'd follow State Route 178 all the way to Lake Isabella. Now, having done this route twice, I would probably change it in the future and instead fly over Havilah, California, then Bodfish, then Lake Isabella. And it's simply because there are more options in case of an emergency. For example, the original route that we're on today traverses a 23-mile valley with pretty much nowhere to land if something goes wrong. And the other route is a 10-mile valley and then a 13-mile valley, much better when you have an option in between. Not to mention that since the valleys are much shorter, you're more likely to be within glide distance of an emergency landing spot. But of course, it's completely up to you and what you feel safest flying over. I'm always apprehensive about flying over mountains, and I just wanted to present some options in case you hadn't considered those. But by the end of the day, we would find that the departure route would be our new favorite route for when we return. So our first visit here was 2 years ago, and we were long overdue to return. This was officially airport number 29 back then, and I remember doing a ton of research about the approach, especially since when the winds are favoring 1-7, it means doing a full pattern in the valley as opposed to a straight in to 3-5, which is much easier approach, but not a departure I'm inclined to prefer. Now, this is one of those locations that if it wasn't for flying, we probably would have never came to visit. But for no other reason that I actually never knew about this place until I was looking for airports to visit and this popped up.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 1939 Hotel, 10 miles southwest inbound for right traffic 17, Kern Valley.
Now, the first time we came, it was strictly to make it our first visit and eat at the cafe, and we had no idea we would ever make a series out of visiting these places. I definitely remember landing and taking a second to look around, and I couldn't believe how fortunate we were to visit such a place so quickly. I mean, it only took us about an hour to get here, and it looks like something out of a postcard and it hasn't changed, but our itinerary today will change. We will be heading into town for the first time to have some lunch, walk the town, and visit the Kern Valley Museum. And of course, we will be covering the campground all as we visit Kern Valley Airport in Kernville, California. Now, this is the section where I tell you a little bit about the history of the airport, but unfortunately, it was nearly impossible to find any history, so instead we'll talk about the history of the town. Let's start with the name Kern, which is used by Kernville, Kern River, Kern Valley, and Kern County. And it was named after Edward Kern, who was a topographer, and during an 1845 expedition, he camped in the middle of what is today Lake Isabella, before it was a lake. More on that shortly. Then, 13 years later, in 1858, the gold rush led to a couple of different names of the town: Rogersville, Williamsburg, and Whiskey Flat. But eventually the town was named Kernsville in 1864. So something I learned after we landed is that you can use the dam as a position reporting point. Alright, so back to Lake Isabella. First, it is a man-made lake, And the reason it was created was because back in 1943, about $137 million in today's money worth of damage was done to the agriculture in the Tulare Lake area from a flood. And the Kern River contributed to almost half that damage. So a year later, Congress authorized the Isabella Project in the 1944 Flood Control Act, and construction began in 1948 and completed in 1953. And as a matter of fact, most of the city of Kernville was razed to prepare for the dam construction. Now, most recently in 2006, the area experienced heavy rainfall, and the lake was filling up faster than they could release water, which caused portions of the State Route 178 that we were just following to be partially closed due to instability and even flooding. This eventually led to a renovation of the dam and the roads 12 years later in 2018, and construction completed in 2022.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 1939 Hotel is 4 miles to the southwest, inbound right traffic 17 Kern Valley.
Kern Valley Airport is non-towered with one runway, 1735 at 3,500 feet, and it's nestled in a valley at an elevation of about 2,600 feet. Now, the special thing about this airport is that there is a campground and specific parking right next to it. So it really feels like you're going backcountry flying, and these campgrounds definitely get used. As a matter of fact, there was a fly-in in early June and it filled to capacity. So we highly recommend checking out the upcoming events on the Kern Valley Airport website. We'll link it below.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 1939 Hotel, entering an extended right downwind for 17 Kern Valley.
Now, once we get on the ground, we'll show you around so you know exactly what to expect. An important note though is that there is no automated weather, which is obviously a huge deal when deciding which runway to use. There are a couple of things you can do to mitigate this little problem though. Obviously, the first is to check the forecast for your day of arrival, especially check the day before, at least to get an idea of what the winds are projected to be. And second, the cafe. But what does the cafe have to do with weather? Well, first, yes, there is a cafe on the field that has your cafe staples on the menu like burgers, fries, and sandwiches. But besides food, they are the second way you can get weather, as they also monitor the CTAF and can give you weather advisories. According to the Kern Valley Airport website, they can also take your order over the CTAF, but we haven't tried that, so we can't confirm, but maybe one of you have. But either way, we'll put the hours of operations for the cafe in the description below.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 1939 Hotel on right downwind midfield for 17 Kern Valley.
All right, so I have to admit something. The traffic pattern altitude here is 3,600 feet. But as you can see, that hill looks very close, and it looks even closer when you're there in person. So I actually did this at 4,000 feet. I'm not saying 3,600 feet isn't correct, but I'm the PAC and I decided that 4,000 feet was a little bit better for us. That'll mean though that we'll be coming in a little higher and a little steeper on the approach.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
It's insanely beautiful.
The cafe is also responsible for fuel. So when you get there, just go inside the cafe and request some fuel. What we've read on ForeFlight is that you have to pull up your plane to the truck, not the other way around, but your mileage may vary.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 3 now, Hotel turning right base 17 Kern Valley.
Now, since the fuel is managed by the cafe, just make sure that you come while the cafe is open so you know someone will be around to pump fuel.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 39 Hotel turning final for 17 Kern Valley.
All right, let's talk about the weather because it is of great importance here for many critical reasons. First, the winds. It is highly recommended to show up in the morning before the winds show up because they can get really strong. We were originally scheduled to come the day before, but when I checked the forecast, it was scheduled to have peak winds of 27 knots and mostly a direct crosswind. And with the close proximity to the mountains, it didn't seem like it would be a fun time. So we opted to reschedule to today. And man, were we glad we did, because we would come to find out what happens when the winds get strong around here. And we'll get back to that shortly.
Kern Valley traffic, Arrow 1939 Hotel, short, final 17, Kern Valley.
The next major weather factor to consider is density altitude, because it can definitely get hot here into the 100 degrees, which can push density altitude to 5,000 feet. And combined with the terrain, it can definitely put you in a precarious situation if you don't know what you're doing. And sometimes the question is not, can you do this? It's really, should you?
Kern Valley traffic, Arrow 39 Hotel, clear of 17, Kern Valley.
All right, so I said something big happens here when the winds pick up. Well, we didn't know how bad of a situation winds can cause here until we spoke to a couple of the people that live here. And they said that Southern California Edison, which is the power supplier in SoCal, will shut off power, no warning, just poof, at any given time due to winds reaching a threshold of 40 miles per hour. But according to some of the residents, that threshold sometimes isn't even met, and SoCal Edison will still shut off power. Ultimately, what does that mean? Well, that means that the restaurants have to shut down, stores have to shut down because they have no way to take payments. And by nightfall, everything is completely dark. Now, some do have generators, but it's mostly to keep the food from spoiling. Some of the residents do lose air conditioning though, which is a big issue, especially for the elderly. Again, just another reminder of how important it is to check the weather, not only for flying into here, but even for the services here. Now, as we arrive to the Café Transient parking, just make note that it is on an incline. So make sure that you get that parking brake set before you get out your plane. The nice thing is you can pretty much pull into any of the spots. The nice thing about these spots is that they all have not only chains, but chocks as well. But this was strictly the scenic route to show you what the Café Transient parking looked like. But now we're gonna head back to the Campground Transient parking as our final stop. As we head back, you'll see some inlets on the left and the right side. Just know that for runway 17, there is no run-up area officially, so you could use these not only as run-up areas, but if someone else is coming up the taxiway, you can pull into there, let them pass, and be on your way. Okay, so you've checked the weather, all looks clear and smooth. You finally land and taxi on over to either the cafe or the campgrounds, but decide you want to go into town. How do you do that exactly? Well, it's probably one of the trickiest things to do here. Not too long ago, they used to have e-bikes available, but that business shut down unfortunately, and it seems that there used to be a crew van also, but we couldn't find that either. We called the number on the Kern Valley Airport website, but that is no longer in service. Eventually, we found a service called Dial a Ride, but you must make reservations in advance and they are not open on Sundays, so plan accordingly. We'll put a link to the pamphlet below, but the moral of the story is it's a pain to get a ride into town generally. We were also told that you could check Facebook and see if anyone is giving rides, but that is far from reliable. But to be honest, next time we'll probably just stick to the campgrounds, the river, the cafe, because it is really, really difficult to get into town. Something just to be aware of is watching out for drivers crossing the runway in their vehicles from the campgrounds. We saw it while we were there, and they probably don't have radios either, so just keep a lookout for that on your approach.
Kern Valley traffic, arrow 1939 Hotel, crossing runway 17 for camp parking.
All right, after a scenic trip around the airport grounds, it's time to tie down and head into town. Of all the airports I think we've been to, this is the one that really puts me on my toes. I mean, how'd you feel?
We were boxed into that valley. It's a tight fit.
It's a tight fit. Anyways, we are really happy to be here because it is a perfect day. We were supposed to be here yesterday, but the winds were really strong. And luckily, the day before on Friday, today is Sunday, on Friday I decided against yesterday. So we came today. And right now, maybe a 5-knot breeze, maybe if that.
Yeah, it feels really
It
good.
smells really good. So today we're just really glad to be here. It's very, this is, if you want somewhere to go peaceful, this is the spot.
Yeah.
But the three things, what are we discussing today?
So we're gonna look at the campground because you can camp here,
You can
which
camp
is
here.
really cool because it's a really nice spot. It's right next to the Kern River, and we'll show you the proximity. It's beautiful when you come and you can see it.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna try to go into town, into Kernville.
Right.
And we're gonna see if we can grab some lunch and then just take a look around.
We've never actually been into town. So this will be our first time going into town. Right now we're gonna finish tying down, make sure everything's secured, and then we're gonna actually walk to the front and then head into town because I think I'm hungry. You're hungry?
I'm definitely hungry.
All right. And so we'll show you guys around. And there's a road, you can take that all the way to the front. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's take a look at Hannah. What it looks like, but we are gonna go that way, which is over there. Once you hit this fork, you'll see the cafe, a couple of other planes. Plenty of parking. Feels so good in the shade.
It does. That's why when I saw this bench, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect place.
We got dropped off near a bakery. Which one is that one? That's
The Sequoia Mountain Bakery.
I wasn't really feeling that.
I mean, the menu looked good.
The menu looked good. Yeah,
burgers
It's
and
just-
like regular fare. But yeah, I think
There's
Roger
pizza.
was looking for pizza.
There's
so.
pizza. Okay, so we're gonna go get pizza. What was the place?
I don't remember what it was
Parks
called.
Pizza?
I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. But
We're gonna butcher the name like we do every place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably something completely different. But they have, we're kind of like in the center of the town, because we have stuff pretty much surrounding us. There's what restaurant was there? The Blue Bear?
Big Blue Bear.
Big Blue Bear.
That's like another bakery deli type.
Yeah. Usually our getaway, that's a perfect getaway, is Catalina. But this is a pretty nice area. I like pretty calm. I mean, there's people here, but I mean, just it feels like we got away.
Oh yeah. And there's so much to see. The town is really cute.
Yeah.
It's like Western themed almost.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
There's like a saloon, and
Yeah.
there's a store called the Mother Lode, and there's a ton of little antique stores. So we're really excited to go explore.
Yep.
But we're gonna go eat first because
go
we're
eat.
hungry.
We're very
And then
hungry.
we're probably gonna go look for a snack because I think we
yeah.
had coffee this morning, so we're not in need of coffee.
Not yet.
But we could use a sweet treat afterwards.
We could. And we're gonna need food because we got a 2.5 mile trek going back home.
Assuming we can't get like another ride,
Yeah.
like Uber or.
Or there's not another service here.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
we'll see. So on our way to go get some food, or find some food and then eat. All right. Whoa. Just got done eating at not the Park Pizza, it's Pizza Barn.
The bar.
Pizza Barn.
Not even close.
Close. Anyways, it was good actually, right?
It was really good. It was not super thick crust.
Yeah.
And it had like a crunchy little bottom.
Yeah.
It was really cheesy. I think we got a pepperoni and ham.
Yeah.
And then we got a buffalo chicken salad.
Mhm.
And that actually was really good. It was much bigger than I thought.
So we are done there. We are fueled up. Now we're going to do a lot of walking. Our next stop is going to be the Kern River Ranger Station. We're just going to go find out about hiking trails and
See what else is here.
what else is there.
Yeah. And it looks like, yeah, to see all the campsites and you can see all
That's
the hiking
huge.
trails. It's massive. I mean, it's all of this green area, right?
Yeah. And it looks like they want you to stay away 1,000 feet from the river.
Oh.
See what this is, camping prohibited 1,000 feet along the entire river. Hey.
Good try.
So we just got done talking to, well, I did. You got done talking to
One of the park rangers.
the rangers.
And what I learned is that you can come in here and get information about campgrounds, hiking, boating is very big here. So if you needed a license for boating or fishing, that can all, I think, happen here. But we were asking about transportation because it is Sunday today. One of the options, I think she said, was if you go to the grocery store, which is just up the street here, there is a bulletin board that may have cards for people who provide some type of transport, either shuttle or taxi service. Facebook, she said, was another great option, and we were searching the Facebook page yesterday and then today during lunch, and really just for information, but we did come across Kern Valley Shuttle, which we called, they did not pick up, and their voicemail was full.
But you kind of heard that that was kind of the case with them, right?
Yeah, someone actually had left a Yelp review only 24 hours ago that basically said like they believe this business is out of, So that may not be an option.
Yep.
I think the other option was like a dial-a-ride type, and so that's something that we kind of looked at but didn't seem to be available today either. And if none of that works out, then it looks like we're going to be taking a 2.5-mile hike back to the airport.
The lesson here is it is really hard to get any transportation, any scheduled or spur of the moment type transportation. Do not count on that.
Yeah, I think the park ranger said that it's unfortunately a really small town, and so there aren't a lot of options, and it is kind of sporadic. Like there's not like really good.
I don't know. I feel like somebody could make a really good full-time job of that here.
Yeah, so if you love it here and you want to move here and provide a shuttle service, I'm pretty sure it would be very successful.
Yeah,
so if you're looking for a new industry to break into. Aside from that, she said it was okay for us to basically walk or hike on the side of the road because it is a 2-lane highway.
Yeah. Or just just generally, we didn't know how safe it was.
Yeah, and
because we never done it.
Yeah, and she seemed to not even bat an eye, so it seems like that may be the thing we'll be doing.
That's it. So right now, we're gonna go find snacks, either ice cream or baked goods or cookies or something.
Yeah.
So that's our next stop. So
I'm thinking we're hiking back.
I think we're hiking back too. Luckily, we like walking.
And it's fairly flat, right?
Yeah, it's flat.
Yeah,
it's flat.
I didn't see a lot of.
So we'll show you guys what that's like and see how tired we are when we get there. So on to the next one.
It's the airport. That's where we parked. And then that's where the campground is.
Oh yeah.
And we are over here.
Visited the museum. We visited your bakery. But tell us about the museum first.
The museum was actually really cool.
And what was it called? Kern Valley Museum? I think it was Kern Valley Museum.
I think it's Kern Valley, yeah. Because it's all about the history of Kern Valley, which actually is a lot more interesting than I thought it'd be.
But what was your favorite thing? Come on now. Come on now.
So one of my favorite games from when I was much younger was Oregon Trail. It's a computer game that I think came out like the 80s.
Just assume they didn't know.
Okay.
Just assume, and anybody who doesn't know just doesn't know. But everybody, whoever's our age knows it. They came in big floppy disks. You put them in. I never got anywhere near close because I had to start every time.
I would always die from dysentery.
I wouldn't even have a chance to die. That's how bad it was. Like we would go in and 15 minutes later, it's like, hey, shut down the computer. And the next time start all over.
Aww.
Anyways, yes.
So in that museum, they actually had a covered wagon that traveled on the real Oregon Trail.
Which is crazy.
Which I just thought was the coolest thing ever. And it makes me such a nerd, but I loved it. It was recreated. It was an actual original wagon that was not even recreated. I think it was just like repaired.
Repaired, yeah.
And is sitting in that museum. And that family, I think they said, is still in this area today. So that was actually really cool to see. And if you know what Oregon Trail is or are obsessed with the real Oregon Trail, that is definitely worth coming here and taking a look at.
That was pretty cool.
So aside from that, they had other really interesting things, like they had an original log cabin that was used by an actual miner and shop owner back in the Gold Rush era.
This home today would cost $1 million. In LA, it'd be like $2 million. With these same
Furnishings and appliances.
Furnishing and appliances, yeah. And they do. They have the docents will tell you a lot about the history. They even have movie nights where they have John Wayne movies, Humphrey Bogart movies, and if there's a scene that takes place here, they'll pause it and they'll tell you which mountain that is.
Yeah, so apparently Hollywood actually filmed a lot of movies out
Westerns
here.
and stuff like that.
This is a really popular, or was a really popular area for filming.
Right.
So
Yeah. But now it's still really beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I mean, the river that runs through here, and then there's like this beautiful breeze, and the trees are incredible. It's really peaceful here.
So speaking of river, we're gonna head back now. Time for a 2-mile walk. So we'll see you guys back at the plane or the river. See you guys then.
Or the river.
Or the river. We might be at the river first.
Oh.
Let's go. So we are in the middle of our 2-mile hike. I think we should be to our location in probably 30 minutes. It's not too bad actually. And even though the sun is out, it's not too hot. Once we get back to Hannah, we have a bunch of water there. We have water with us right now. But I think we're kind of in luck. We're walking downhill. So there's only 1,736 people here in Kernville. We got horses.
Want to steal a horse and ride it?
Ah, that's a good idea. I think we should be okay. We'll be hot by the time we get there, but it's okay. Seriously, we're gonna get to Hannah. I'm gonna pull out some chairs, put them down, and just relax before we have to head back to the real world. All right, so as promised, after a 2.5-mile hike, we got back to the campsite and we're gonna show you around. This is new. Last time we were here, I don't think it had a power.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but it does have now. So we're gonna check first, does it work? So unfortunately, this power bank did not work for us, but maybe there's something we were missing. We thought maybe it could be in the lockbox, maybe a turn on button. And if you happen to know, please let us know. Well, you might need a lockbox key for that. So we got shower number 1, and you already showed them shower. Oh.
Yeah, it works.
It works. That works. Okay. Oh, this is the lockbox you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And we got the third and final one here. Oh, this one's covered here because I think on the other side of this is the water heater. The only thing is that they do tell you watch for rattlesnakes under this whole structure. But yeah, so you might need a key, but to turn on what? Maybe there's a switch in there to turn on the electric?
Maybe.
There's no handle to turn on the water. So electricity, maybe, but you do have showers. That's good. And the water heater looks like it worked, right? Let's check this hose, make sure this works. I think all the water works, right?
It should.
Yep, that works. Everywhere there's a bench is like a
campsite kind of area.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it looks like it, especially if it has like a grill and a fire pit.
Yeah.
I think there's about 5 of them, and I think that's just like an extra tree with a table and bench.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. So you got 3 bathrooms, 3 stalls, and no electricity.
3 shower stalls.
3 shower stalls. And 5 campsites that we can see based on where they have the grills, right?
I think, yeah, wherever there's like a grill, a table, and
Yeah.
I guess that's like a fire pit, right?
Yeah, and I think the only time it actually gets busy out here is if they have fly-ins. I don't know if it gets busy out here. I don't think in the summer, because who we were speaking to, they said that in the summer it's too hot to do a lot of things here. But by the end of the week, it's going to be 97 here. Yeah, don't want to mess with density altitude with that.
It's a little surprising too, considering it's like right on a lake and a river.
Oh, I know. That's what I thought too, and that it's higher.
Right.
But yeah, apparently like heats up here.
Yeah, because what's the altitude here? 2,600?
Yeah. So we were gonna go to the river, but after walking 2.5 miles, we just didn't want to go back out there. Looks like there's some other guys that just got here and they're about to go fishing.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting their fishing rods and lures ready.
But it's very quiet. But listen. It's very quiet, very peaceful here. But yeah, so now you know when you guys come camping what you can expect. All right, so it's almost 6 o'clock and we're calling it a day. We got to do a couple of things. So what do? We ate first at the pizza, Ranger Station.
Yep. The museum.
Oh, the museum.
Which is really cool.
Which is really cool. Yeah. Highly recommend.
And then we got some sweet treats. We got a cookie from the bakery and got some ice cream on our walk back.
Because we needed fuel. So ice cream is obviously the fuel that we need.
Sure.
So yeah, so that was a trek. Again, something we probably don't recommend unless you like walking 2.5 miles, then by all means. But yeah, we're getting ready to get out of here. The winds are perfect. They're mostly down the runway, which is great. The first time we were here, they were completely crosswind, which makes a sporty departure. And I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we're just gonna get ready. You have anything else?
No, I think this is just like a really cool place to hang out if you're looking for somewhere peaceful.
Yeah.
With a lot of good shade.
Right. Just to get away.
Yeah, like going into town isn't necessary. It's a cute little town, but really, I think next time we bring a cooler with some food and some snacks and water, and then just kind of hang out here.
Yeah. So besides that, I mean, I think that's a wrap for this one. Again, we love this place. It's very, very scenic. You know, again, we're going to come next time, just enjoy nature. So hopefully you guys like this. The departure is going to be, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about that. We're not going to depart the same way we came in, but you guys are about to find out what that looks like. So see you guys. We can't tell you how many places we have discovered strictly because of an airport existing there. And this one is one of those beautiful places we couldn't believe actually existed in real life. I remember we landed and I took a deep breath, inhaling all that fresh air as the stresses of home melted away for that moment as we looked out to Lake Isabella.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 1939 Hotel, crossing runway 17, taxiing to run up for 17, Kern Valley.
But for all its beauty, you do have to work for it. This is truly the toughest, most stressful airport for me personally. From the 5-minute flight through the valley to feeling like the wing is going to touch the side of a mountain. And yes, that's just hyperbole. But either way, you have to be on your A game the entire time on the approach. Especially since it is right traffic, so you can lose sight of the runway momentarily.
Kern Valley traffic, Aero 39 Hotel, clear of runway 17, Kern Valley.
And when making that base turn, the concern is really not looking for the runway. It's more just making sure you keep that turn tight enough to make that 180. So yes, there is a lot to consider, and I'd highly recommend if you're coming in a new plane to you or a rented plane, come with an instructor. But of course, before doing all of that, I'll remind you probably for the 3rd time today, check the weather. And if you are unsure, possibly call ahead to the cafe on the phone to get real-time update on the winds. For this trip, I used the daily forecast on ForeFlight, which was pretty accurate. But there are so many other tools like aviationweather.org. The point is, don't skip your weather brief.
Kern Valley traffic, Arrow 1939 Hotel, taking runway 17 straight out departure, Kern Valley.
And as we get ready to depart, we can't forget all the people that make this channel possible. Let's start off with super thanks. Want to thank Chris, Steve, Jeremy, and Tony. Thank you guys for being so spectacular. Next, we want to thank our YouTube members, Thomas, Gary, Pilot Chip, and Ron. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And finally, of course, to our superstars on Patreon. I want to thank Chris, Tony, Steve, Rich, Phil, Randy, Paul, Tyler, Michael, Chase, and Bob. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your constant support. So again, thank you. So of course, we want to reflect a little bit on last week's video. And wow, did you guys really seem to enjoy March Air Reserve Base? Don't get us wrong, we love that base. We just didn't know you guys would love it as much as we did. But of course, the thing we love the most is reading another week of spectacular comments. First, we learned from a couple of you that the arresting cable is not for aircraft carrier training, but instead used for emergency situations like no brakes. So thank you for that correction. Next, reading so many stories about all the planes that used to be at March and your experiences with them made us feel like we went back into time, into your memories, such as when 13 B-52s departed. I mean, we could just imagine looking up in the sky, seeing that amazing sight. And finally, and probably most importantly, all of you that shared about your own personal time at March. We said it in the video, and maybe you've heard it already, but we are eternally grateful for your service and the sacrifices you made to protect this country. And just know, we thought it was the coolest thing to find that there are March veterans commenting on our channel. We felt completely honored that you chose to share some amazing memories with us, and we can't thank you enough. So you all definitely made up for Irene's disappointment of not being able to taxi next to the tankers with the amazing response to one of her favorite airports ever. It is never lost on us how fortunate we are to share these adventures with you, in the hopes that it possibly sparks something that will also make you have your own version of these adventures, whether it's a military base like March or a peaceful Lakeview getaway like Kern Valley. We look forward to more memories, future plans, and even the occasional correction, because we definitely make mistakes and you definitely keep us honest. But no, we appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week, and as always, until then, go fly, go discover.
850 Romeo Bravo, clear direct Rosie. That's Romeo, Oscar, Sierra, India, Echo, then direct. Cross Rosie at maintain level 210. Was 2660 just approach, welcome. Operation November 749, 3 Juliet contact. Bakersfield approach 118.9er.
18.9er, 9 for Juliet. Good day.
Good evening, Joshua. Approach Arrow 1939er Hotel, 20 miles north of Mojave, 9,500, VFR request.
Arrow 1939er Hotel, Joshua, approach the Edwards altimeter 2982, say request.
2982 requesting flight following to Corona Alpha Juliet Oscar, 39er Hotel.
The 39er Hotel, Roger, and say again, type aircraft.
39er Hotel, the PA28 Romeo Slant Golf, 39er Hotel.
The 39er Hotel, squawk 4730.
4730, 39er Hotel.
Southwest 2660, descend, maintain flight level 320. Arrow 1939 Hotel, radar contact 15 miles northeast of Mojave Airport, say altitude.
9,500, 39er Hotel.
Roger. William 0 Romeo Bravo, contact LA Center 132.532.5.